Hey everyone, it's Zacharu, and I have Diaper Perv with me here, and welcome to the very first episode of the Stay True and Stay You podcast, where we talk about all things to keep you to stay true and to stay you. With me, of course, is Diaper Perp, and we are going to be talking about several things that I think is a very important topic to discuss, and that is how the outside world perceives us and how the media takes what we create here in the community and unfortunately twists it and sensationalize it. So it's the outside world looking in is the wider title of this episode, how the world sees us.
Yeah, I like that. And I guess there's different stages to that too, like the way the media portrays us. Like, for example, okay, we're going to talk about the latest thing that's been on YouTube. It seems like nonstop. There's been like at least 10 plus videos reacting to the diaper spa in New Hampshire.
So this is news to me at first. I thought it was a joke, a meme in the community because we're capable of creating such shenanigans of memes and stuff like that. Because I remember for those who remember ABDL Homestead, Stanley's website. There were links to such back then where it was like a diaper hotel where room service would come in and change your diaper and then leave.
Wait, really?
Yeah, this was supposedly a thing, but then later on it was actually a joke.
Oh my goodness. Oh geez.
So
Okay.
I thought the diaper spa was a joke, but then turns out the media has been all over it and just utterly destroying the person behind it, and further equating even more damage to the community. And it poses a lot of questions. One of which, should we even interact with the media? Should we even
Right.
approach the media, or let the media approach us? And you know, a lot of people weigh the question of, well, it does good because it gets us out there. It allows for more self acceptance. Allows the world to know who we are, and blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
When the fact of the matter is, every single time we have been in the media in some form of capacity, whether it's on TLC,
Uh-huh.
MTV, Discovery Channel, some news station, it's it always comes out icky and gross and is so damning.
Well, I don't think the Vice one, the last Vice one with Casey and ABU, that one wasn't bad. It was just like, here are some people and here are their stories.
Yes, but there were some outtakes where they had asked Casey, like, "So what do you do in your diapers?" We hear that other things go on than number ones and number twos, and
No,
Casey was just gracefully like, "That's just my business. Let's keep it that
yeah, he's
way."
like, wouldn't you like to know or something? Okay, truthfully, I have used that little clip of Casey to fantasize about so many times. Oh Lord.
But the media, it has a field day with us every single time.
Like yes and no. The case with the diaper spa, right?
Mhm.
I feel like okay, the reporter was sent and interviewed the lady that owns it, went into the facilities and showed the rooms. And I feel like that piece itself wasn't bad at all. They weren't like, oh, these people are gross. Oh, how dare she do this? The reporter just asked her questions and she answered them to the best of her knowledge, right? It was the reactions on YouTube, like all the YouTube personalities that took that one piece and said, oh, they're the ones that are saying, oh, this is so gross. What has this world come to? This is not acceptable. But I feel like the news station didn't do any of that.
The initial one.
Yeah, the initial one.
I agree with you on that. There was a bit of openness on their end.
Hmm.
Um, but what the questions being asked is, what was gained from that? That initial reaction to that news station. Because my biggest question for her is, why did you feel the need to become public about this?
I feel like, okay, I don't know her, but from what I could see in that interview, it seemed like her intentions were good. Like she wanted to open this up and provide people who are looking for this a place to go, I guess. But the thing is, I don't think she's like an insider, like one of us, like ABDL, or like an existing caregiver, because if she was, she wouldn't have talked to the media. She would have posted all the information for the diaper spa and the things she offers on Reddit, on FetLife, on Twitter, Instagram. She would have found the community. So it seemed like she didn't really know the community, and that's why she was looking for a different avenue to get it out.
I can see that, but with the advent of social media, I feel
Hmm.
like that, and forgive me if I'm assuming uh, what may have happened, but surely some research was done
Hmm.
in order for her to jump into this because supposedly she's a therapist
I'm
uh,
not
or
sure,
some form
actually.
of mental health expert.
Hmm.
Um, and so my question is like, why not do some research on the community and see where we resonate, which is primarily Twitter and Instagram,
Hmm.
um, and a very growing population on a new platform, Blue Sky. Um, so it makes me ask that question: is why go directly to the media? And to be fair, maybe she didn't know that the media would have a field day with this. I'd like to think she, be, you know, can plead some form of ignorance to that. And I want to go ahead and preface that, like, we're not dumping on this woman whatsoever. We're openly speculating and thinking out loud because it ties into the broader topic of how the community sees us,
Hmm.
and it affects us because
Oh, how the public sees
yeah,
us. Yeah.
yeah, the public,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here, I found info on her. She's a board certified integrative medicine physician and sexologist.
Okay. So she has some knowledge and backing certifications with some connections to ABDL. You can equate some sexual natures and acts with
Hmm.
age play and diapers.
Hmm.
So she has a leg to stand on in that regard. Um,
Yeah, but I feel like it's limited because she was trying to explain why people have this interest and fetish and lifestyle. And she gave some answers that doesn't apply to everybody. But now that she gave those answers to the media, to the news station, then the public watching it will be like, oh, adult babies all come from a place of trauma and what was it? Trauma and abuse.
and abuse. And that's
Yeah.
not true. I mean,
No.
there are some littles who just really love childhood, and that's a huge part of their identity. And so they find great appeal
Hmm.
into being little, and um, it's not always stemmed in abuse, but it's common for it to be abuse, you know?
Right. And I feel that just happens when someone who doesn't know a big sampling of people in the lifestyle,
Yeah,
they might say that.
I agree with that. I mean, they're making
Ass-
generic
Assumption?
assumptions and just lumping us all together.
Yeah. What's more concerning is like all the YouTubers making reaction video to that and being all grossed out about it. I mean, can that be avoided? I don't think so because they want the views. They want the most sensationalist headline they can grab so they can get the clicks.
100%. And having coming from working for a news media company, that was the producer's whole goals is what can grab your eyeballs,
Hmm.
with a death grip to draw you in to make you watch. And the sad truth of the matter is that bad news is more appealing to draw in an audience than good news.
Hmm.
And that's just the sad truth of what the media is. It doesn't matter like what side you're on the media either. Like there's no such thing as biased media anymore or unbiased media anymore. It's either one side or the other.
Right, yeah. Do you think there's been any good representation of ABDL in the media, in the mainstream media?
I haven't watched the Vice documentary all the way through, so I don't have a.
Wait, what?
I've seen clips of it here and there,
Okay.
so I can't formulate an opinion on that. I know you like it.
I saw that Vice had done another one prior to that, maybe about 2 years prior, where they interviewed a couple of guys who
Furniture
made, yeah, the
makers.
furniture. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was good.
yeah.
My personal favorite is actually a very old one that was done by Channel 4 in the UK,
Hmm.
and it was called the 15 Stone
Yeah,
Babies.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
That one I thought was done brilliantly well, and it was done from a very sweet and just factorial way where it gave you some insight into the community, but it also didn't sensationalize it. It was just there. You had
Right.
a matter of fact narrator, and you just had these scenes that were real life scenes that weren't
Uh-huh.
dramatized like what you would see in Law and Order SVU. They were just people living their life, living their truth.
Right.
And to me, I don't think anything will ever come close to that ever again.
Okay, that's good. So in that piece, did they obviously they showed people like in the scenes in their roles, right? In little space and stuff. Did the people in it also explain like, hey, we don't live this like 24/7. We also have jobs, we also have to adults. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
they did, and one of them was from the perspective of pro doms, fantasy facilitators,
Hmm.
and they were like, we primarily want to stay here, but and this was this, and I want to say that the time frame that the 15 Stone Babies was filmed was during the recession in like 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there, they were talking about from the business standpoint of being fantasy facilitators and saying, we don't really want to incorporate other things into this because this is where our heart is. But, real world life, real world needs.
Hmm. Okay, cool.
So it gave a sense of
Yeah.
realism to what it's like to be in this lifestyle.
Oh, good.
Factoring in like we're not like this 24/7.
Good. Yeah.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people view us as is that we're leeches on the
Yes.
society.
Yeah. I wonder why they think that. I feel like that piece where Stanley Thornton, wanted that lifestyle all the time and that wasn't the best representation. So why do you think certain people choose to collaborate with the media, with the mainstream media?
I I don't have a positive opinion about it. So I will try and be as respectful as I possibly can with this. Um,
They want attention.
they
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 like attention.
they want attention. They want their 15 minutes of fame. Um,
But some of them are, I think, genuine. Like they want people to have a not negative understanding of what it's like to be ABDL.
and I will give you that 100%. Here's the thing though, is that the media is going to take the picture and cut it and spin
Hmm.
it to what
Hmm.
fits their narrative and agenda.
Hmm.
Um, I can give you an example of 4 times I've been approached by different media companies. I've been
Hmm.
approached by MTV twice.
Hmm.
I've been approached by TLC once, and then I was approached by Anthony Padilla.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
all of which I turned down because I wanted to exercise creative control.
Yeah.
And they would not give that to me. And I asked them why. And it's because they want to paint the picture how they want.
Of course. That's cool that you asked for, I guess some like final edit or final like
Mm.
approval.
Yes.
And they're like, no. We can't do that.
Yeah, and
Yeah. And that I actually turned down the Vice documentary thing too for that reason because I'm not comfortable with doing something that public, first of all, that many people will see, but also will react to, some negatively. And also, I can't control it.
mhm. And that's why, I've stuck in my hemisphere of my content
Mm-hmm.
because I have that control. I
Mm-hmm.
have that final say, and it isn't about being a control freak whatsoever.
No.
It's about preserving who you are
Mm-hmm.
and not be painted as something that you're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think the media will ever show us in a better light? I don't know what that means.
I don't think that will ever happen. I feel that every single time the media reaches out and someone falls for the snare, that it's just another nail in the coffin for us to be lumped into the category of pedophiles, vagrants, leeches.
I don't know if they really use, the P word. I've never seen a mainstream media use the P word to describe us.
I have a handful of times,
Okay.
and it's typically, and I don't want to get political with this, but it's typically more right leaning shows,
Mm-hmm.
because they typically lump us in all together. Um,
Right.
how can I
Um,
escape this tactfully? They I will use an example of the past. My father, being a very Baptist, hellfire and brimstone, right wing person, would always lump in people of the gay community and ABDL once he found out about me when he went through my things,
mm-hmm.
as being homosexual. And that's what these people are doing on either side of the media, where they are just lumping us together in these things. And because they don't understand it, they fear it. And so they equate it to something that is more dark and that is not associated whatsoever with us, because there is the aspect of babies,
Mm-hmm.
children,
Mm-hmm.
actual minors, but you have adults who are trying to fill that role. And what they don't understand is that we don't want to be with children. We want to be the kid. Like, to have all the focus on us, to have that attention as the child.
I feel like a lot of the ABDLs that go in the mainstream media, they want to correct that assumption that the media makes.
And try as they may, the
Yeah.
result will always be the same: is the media is going to constantly paint the picture that they want.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess.
And I hate to be that way, but the first noted thing of adult baby being in the media was a 60s interview uh, on a television station, and these people were interviewing these pro mommies back then who had these sissies.
Oh, in the 60s? Really?
Yes.
No.
hmm
Is this in black and white?
It's in color.
Oh.
It's shot very poorly for
Oh.
the time, but this is an older thing that was one of the first takes of this being in any form of media back then. And you had these men who identified as sissies, and they were being interviewed by this interviewer who was filming all this and interviewing the doms or the mommies, whatever role they
Mm-hmm.
were.
Mm-hmm.
And even back then, the P word came up.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's been ingrained into this for a very, very long time.
So do you think that like ABDL should just not talk to the media period at all and just like the what do you, the public just make their own assumptions without any real information or any input from a lifestyler?
I feel like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they could they could interview someone well off, you know, incredibly smart,
Mm-hmm.
good looking, appealing,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, well, why do you wear diapers? You have everything else. And then it just all comes crashing down.
Right. Like, I feel like the public wants answers as to why. Like, they can't just accept that it's different for everyone or that it just feels good.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like what a lot of people, the point that we'll never get across is that we all do interesting things in the bedroom.
Hmm.
And that's the argument of these people is like, well, keep it there. I don't want to see it. Don't be online. Don't be in public, and don't exist. Period.
Right. Well, it's the news company that, like, that want to do the story anyways.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't know.
Right. And then you have people in America who are just completely blown away by this, and then of course their opinions formulate because of what
Yeah.
they see on TV.
Right.
Do
But
you think it'll be a naturally positive opinion?
no.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I feel like younger people are more kink aware, period. Through social media, through their friends, through I don't know what they're watching or consuming, but it seems like they are more aware.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate here. The baby boomer generation is still very much in control. They are very much still have a huge presence across, let's just say the United States. You know,
On what? On media? On mainstream media?
on
Because
on mainstream media, you have.
kids aren't watching that. Kids are on TikTok. They're on
I understand that, but
Snapchat.
mainstream media is still on social media.
They own it.
Mm.
Right. Uh-huh.
So
But they can't, like, they don't delete kink accounts or ABDL accounts. There are plenty of different kink accounts that the younger generation looks at and gets their information from,
mhm.
like our YouTube channels.
Right. That's only a small fraction, though,
It
compared to
is.
what the other the other news networks that have their social media, they have millions upon
Mm-hmm.
millions of followers.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think they're going to get to first? Are
Right.
we going to get to them first, or are they going to get to them first?
Right. Yeah. I see your point. I've also heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I didn't know there was other people like me until I saw adult babies on Jerry Springer or Donahue
Hmm.
back in the 90s." And that's how they found out they weren't alone.
Yeah.
And to start searching out other people to interact with in the lifestyle. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we serve a purpose for the greater good for the community when we put ourselves out there,
Mm,
and not just us, but many others who share very intimate parts of their lives, more so than we do.
mm,
And that spreads awareness and information. And you brought up a huge point. Like when I first discovered the side of myself,
mm,
you know, I was 14 years old.
mm.
And I legitimately thought what you just said. I'm the only person in the world who is like this.
So, how did you find other people?
Yahoo searching
Oh.
on Netscape 5.0 internet. Why do I want to wear diapers?
Oh, okay. So, what was the first thing you saw?
First link I saw was ABDL Homestead,
Oh, okay.
Stanley's website.
Yeah.
Second one was Diaper Pale Friends,
Yeah.
Diaper Deeker, and then diapergirls.com.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's how I knew, like, okay, I'm not alone. So, and then you fall down the rabbit hole of information, you know, uh,
Good
one,
times.
one, whatever the speed was for a dial-up internet back then.
28.8 or 56.6?
56K, yeah. 56K modem, that's right.
Oh, wow. You jumped straight to 56. I had 28.8.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
geez.
but yeah, I mean, let's just wrap for a second. I mean, you seem to have a more positive outlook on the ABDLs being in the media. Like,
Yeah, I
what do you
guess.
think is the do you think we're better for it? Or do you think we should have stayed out of it?
That's a great question. I think anything that brings some type of awareness to the general population, whether good or bad, creates conversation. It can reach people that still think they're alone for some reason, even though we have the internet for years, and they just haven't searched. Or they see it and they do some research and they might think this could be for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like being a caregiver might resonate and might fill a need in me that I already have, and this could be the outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my opinion, caregivers, they don't really exist. Like ABDL caregivers don't really exist. They have to see it in action via media of like pictures, videos, stories for it to have a draw for them and want to interact with someone like that. You know what I mean? Like a woman or a guy isn't just going to wake up one day never seeing anything ABDL or age play and think, gee, I want to take this adult and coddle him and give him a baba and do all these things, right? Like it wasn't like that for me. I had to see it at age 19 in 1996 for it to spark something in me. And I think that's how most people develop interests or fetishes or an inkling to even try something.
Yeah. Exposure is definitely one thing, because you're right. There are not many caregivers in the community, and they're not going to know about this until they're introduced to it. Um, so I guess the question is which way would you want them to be introduced?
Ideally, I guess like it is kind of now. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like the diaper spa, the lady had good intentions, right? Maybe other caregivers would be like, whoa, I want to do this, but not for money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to explore this a little more. And it was just the reactions to that news piece that were negative. But I know they were negative because they wanted the views.
Right. It's clickbait.
Yeah, I understand their intention. And I feel like the people watching it, they're not all going to automatically agree and say, oh, that's gross. Some of them might want to try a diaper.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with you that it has been a necessary evil.
Hmm.
I wish it wasn't so sensationalized,
Hmm.
and I wish there wasn't so much hate and judgment from these people on these platforms, because they have very little knowledge to it.
Hmm.
They do a quick Google search
Yeah,
and just see, oh, it's a fetish, it's a kink. Well, that's all I needed, you know.
right. And yeah, that's all the research they're doing, period.
You
Hmm.
know, like why not actually do some research? Why not actually reach out to a mental health expert? Or one of the clips showed Dr. Rhoda Lipscomb, who she's been a great ally to the community.
Hmm.
Why not reach out to her and get her, you know,
Opinion or
opinion?
talking about it. Hmm.
Why not do that instead of just
Right.
painting this garbage picture of the community?
I know because they're YouTubers, they're YouTube commentators who just want to comment on have opinions on other people's lifestyles
Mhm.
for views. That's it.
You know what I think would get the biggest clicks
Hmm.
on their channel? Well, we talked about this topic last time of adult babies and how gross they are. This time around, I am going to be an adult baby for a day,
Yeah.
and just have them, you know, uh,
Yeah.
just go put themselves in the care of a trusted pro dom,
Yeah.
who's very well known. I don't know
Yeah.
if you would volunteer for that,
Well, I'm not a pro
but
dom,
you know
but
what I
I'm a
mean.
diaper fantasy
Okay,
facilitator.
so
But I would treat them like, an
yeah,
adult baby. Sure. Of
yeah,
course. Yeah, I would volunteer actually for that reason.
as a educational
Yeah.
tool. That way they can see, oh wow, I'm being cared for, I'm being cuddled, I'm being loved like I haven't been in a very, very long time. You know,
I get to let go.
I get to let go. I get to not really think about big adult stuff. I get to, you know, be little and play with toys and
Yeah.
ride in the back of the car and not have to worry about where I'm going. And this lady, she's treating me better than I've been treated in a long time.
Right. Yeah, and I feel safe.
I feel safe. And then maybe this epiphany will go off in their heads. Oh, I
Maybe.
see now.
Yeah, yeah. And it doesn't even have to be that deep. Like age play can take many forms.
Yeah.
They could be a middle, they just any age younger than their chronological age. Like one of my friends who knows everything about my lifestyle, right? But he's not into ABDL or diapers. He's just a platonic friend. He was looking at, these kids playing in this water fountain area and just having so much fun. And he's like, wow, look at them. Like they have no cares. They're just having fun. I wish I could do that. Well, that's age play. You
Congratulations.
could do this
Yes.
for a little short time. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who aren't as educated and knowledgeable about the community think, well, I don't want to wear a diaper. Like you hit the nail on the head. You can be a middle.
Yeah.
You know, not all littles wear
No,
diapers.
no.
You
You can
know,
wear a pull up.
you can wear a pull up or you just wear big boy undies or big girl
Yeah.
undies. You know, you don't have to be, you know, in a diaper or, you know,
Yeah.
you could just be, you know, whatever age you would want to try, like 5 years old, 6 years old. Like
Yeah.
the whole point of the thing is you're not having to worry about adult responsibilities for the allotted time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Okay, so you did ask me, like, what would be the ideal way to, show it to the public, right?
right?
I think in the way they've done it in movies and TV shows like Bob's Burgers or that scene in Office Party where that Korean guy was like hanging out with his coworker and then he like was trying to hug her and she was coddling him and then she wanted to like suck her boobs
I haven't
and
seen this.
breastfed and he called her mommy. I thought that was cute.
I think downscale it just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because breastfeeding in public is still pretty taboo.
Oh no, they weren't in public. They were in a secluded
Oh,
office,
okay.
just them two. They were making out, and then he immediately went into like a little headspace. I thought that was cool. Or like Bob's Burgers, how they talked about, oh, like,
He's a
uh,
regular at the pleasure dungeon.
yeah, yes, you remember
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
he's what's called a
Diaper
diaper
lover.
lover.
Yeah. I almost stopped watching Bob's Burgers because of that.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, come on, man, just leave us alone. Leave Brittany alone.
I thought that was so positive because it showed a different aspect. They didn't say adult baby, they said diaper lover. Like they know a little bit about, they know something about
He's called Baby Num Nums.
it.
I mean, I can see.
But they didn't really make fun of him. They just said it. Like, here's a fact. This is what he does. Then afterwards, they weren't like, ew, gross or anything. They're like, okay, and moved on.
Jimmy Pesto, honorary ABDL. Yeah, I mean, I see that. It was just, you know, oh, we struck a fact and we moved on, you know.
Yeah. Am I too positive about the intentions of the media?
I don't know. I've just been so jaded over the years of every time that media has done something on ABDL, or I'm just like, I get indigestion and I just feel gross.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to play those reactions to the diaper spa, and the look on your face was like, oh,
I was getting so mad because
I know.
these media people were just tearing this woman apart. I'm like, y'all have no idea. You know, y'all are vanilla. Y'all are more vanilla than Breyer's vanilla ice cream straight from the factory, even from the cow.
But I feel like everyone has some type of fetish. They're just hiding theirs
Oh yeah,
better.
absolutely. Like they have something.
Yeah.
And even if like, oh, that's just a part of sex, you know, like your partner pulling your hair and making them call you daddy or mommy or whatever else have you that's wrapped up in vanilla missionary sex,
Uh-huh.
that's still a kink that you
Uh-huh.
have.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know like acknowledge your kinks. Like you're not just laying there letting your partner pound into you. I'm getting too spicy for you guys.
No, it's not. It's just funny watching your face.
I'm trying to be a gentleman here, but also I'm getting very passionate, and sometimes I say very spicy things that in the presence of a lady you shouldn't really say.
I'm the one that I don't know, pees in a guy's diaper and has diaper sex even after they poop it.
I,
Sometimes.
I'm the gentle baby from the south
I know.
who is the youngest of six, and the rest were girls, and so chivalry was beaten into me, and what to say and what not to say in front of a woman.
Really? Oh
Yes.
yeah, I keep forgetting you're from the South. Even though you have like an accent.
Mhm.
Okay. Which I don't really know what that means because I'm not from the US. So
What, the chivalry or accent?
being from the South, like when
Oh
you say that, I'm like, I don't fully understand that because I'm not from
no,
the
I,
US.
I gotcha. Um, but back to the question of like how I would want to, like you said, how you want to expose people,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, the exposure would be more of a mental health exposure, to where you have a fairly basic lifestyle between two individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the public eye would be more accepting of a male and female relationship,
Yeah.
and um, have them, have the example relationship be a female led relationship where it is, soft femdom, mommy dom, little boy. But don't use that terminology, but just paint the picture of like kind of like how the 15 Stone Babies did, where it was just a matter of fact picture,
Right.
where it was just, this is the relationship is it, and this it's not your typical relationship. It's female led,
Mm-hmm.
and show the intimacy of the holding, the care as far as like making meals, or uh, very appropriate interactions in public of holding hands,
Uh-huh.
and the rules that would be very palpable for people.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So only show the soft stuff?
yes. So show the soft stuff, but have subtle hints to there is more to it.
Uh-huh.
Don't put everything on the table all at once, because you don't set a table for one of your audience with a buffet of like, I expect you to eat all this right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly spoon feed them some things instead of just
Mm-hmm.
dumping it all on their plate, expecting them to eat it all at once.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that's wonderful, right? But what about the girl babies? I feel like they're not represented in media, and a lot of the public think, oh, only boys are into this, only guys are into this.
and
Not true.
and that's part of the spoon feeding,
Yeah.
and that's when you start opening up to the possibility of, okay, now we've established that yes, it's fairly common for little boys,
Mm-hmm.
men, but let's talk about our female counterparts, and show that this also is a part of them, that this also can be a part of them,
Mm-hmm.
and illustrate that it's something for everyone. That could be for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just exclusive to boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's part of women too. I don't
Yeah.
want to use the word effect,
Yeah.
because then it sounds like a disease or a condition.
Yes.
But it,
Yeah.
it, it is something that is developed. It is something that is an innate part of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you're right. There's not too much representation in media's parts
Mm-mm.
of a female
Mm-mm.
being a little. And although the 15 Stone Babies did have a little bit in there of that, but the other two were guys.
Yeah.
So spoon feeding the audience slower things, and then once they have a good feel of both sides of things, then I feel like that you have a good soft introduction into it, to where people can maybe formulate for themselves a more positive opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Um, so with all that being said, um, do you think with how the outside world sees this, let's talk about wrapping up ABDLs on social media.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that um, our profiles on social media that let's be real here, the creators of these platforms intended people to be posting about baseball and football and day-to-day lives and grilling out and TV shows and movie reviews, typical generic things that you would see on everyday media, maybe sharing some family moments,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And they didn't, I don't think they intended for, you know, people of the community being a part of it, being a huge part of their community, being their platform rather.
Right. And do you think the public knows that there are ABDLs on social media? Because I really don't think they do.
Define public. Are you saying
Non-ABDLs.
well unaware or trolls or people?
Well, the trolls, if they're already trolling, then they're looking at ABDL media.
Mhm. Um,
So unaware, like just non-ABDL folks, they wouldn't really run into.
it's the algorithm. I feel like what they're into would point them in the direction,
Mhm.
and maybe there is an accidental like, oh hey, you may like this person, and they click on their profile and it's like diapers, 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 and they're like, whoa, what is this? You know,
Do you think that's too much? Because I think that's a great intro.
I mean, this happened to me about 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I had posted a diaper review video, and this woman who was a mom commented on my video
Oh,
and said, "I thought these were baby diapers." And she was really nice too. She was like, "I had no idea about this community. I really hope the diaper works out for you, and that it's a good product.
yeah.
Thank you for the review."
Wow.
You know,
Oh,
so
that's really positive. I had like a negative one on one of my YouTube videos about diaper checks and how to do them. And she was looking for information for like actual babies.
babies, yeah.
Yeah. And she found mine and then she reported it and got it taken down.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I have yet to have any of my videos taken down. Knock on wood.
Wow.
In the 10 years. But uh, social media, like, do you think us being on social media is a good thing for people to actually stumble across? And do you think seeing, like, just say a vanilla person comes into the ABDL hemisphere of Twitter or Instagram
Yeah.
and they see all this,
Mhm.
um,
All
and
this diapers.
yeah, you know,
Diapers, diapers, diapers. Me sniffing the diapers.
you know, and they see that, like, do you think that encourages a negative reaction, or do you think it's no different from accidentally a vanilla person coming across porn and be like, whoa, no, Lordy, clutch my pearls, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's a negative thing, but it really depends on what we post on there and how we treat and portray ourselves as well. And they're going to pick up on that.
Oh yeah. And we kind of talked about good representation a little
Hmm.
bit
Hmm.
off mic. Um, you kind of hit the nail in like how we present ourselves, how we
Hmm.
show ourselves,
Hmm.
um, without making rules, because we want to avoid
Yeah.
making rules. What do you think is a good representation?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Having fun,
Yeah,
enjoying ourselves with the different accoutrements
I like the accoutrements.
of the lifestyle. Um, Showing, how to get into little space, what we're doing in it. Diaper reviews are good
Hmm.
because those are like pretty, factual things.
Yeah,
I think anything is good. I think we should talk about the negatives because that's more the negatives have a greater impact than the good, I think. I think negatives are like being around kids while you're partaking in this, having kids in the background, having any type of media that has actual underage children in it, maybe mixing, your ABDL with like pictures of your real kids, then that probably isn't a great idea.
Oh no, that's definitely not.
No.
It goes back to hammering home the whole thing of no minors in kink.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's just a rule that we
Right.
can all agree upon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Period. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like no debating.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, having fun, positive. One of my coined phrases is positive ABDL media,
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
and I think showing yourself as an intelligent, personable human being that you know is I think what people really forget about is that nobody is perfect and no one has a moral authority on what is good and what is bad when it comes to stuff like this. We were talking at dinner earlier tonight, and I used the phrase "don't yuck someone's yum."
Yeah.
As long as the person is safe in an environment between consenting adults, and no bodily harm or mental harm is happening,
Right.
then I think that is a good example of what to present to the outside and to our fellow community members.
Right. No, exactly. And something you were talking about earlier is that I see a lot of like ABDLs not respecting other ABDLs' opinions. And they are just opinions, opinions about a person, opinions about a product. And there are ABDLs that if you don't agree with them, then they're going to, lash out and attack you. And I think that's really negative for the community. I don't think outsiders really see that.
It's drama that the only
Yeah.
people from the community would see.
Yeah. And maybe some
Maybe
outsiders.
they would pick up on like, oh wow, there are bad people here too. So naturally, that makes every one of them bad.
Right. Yeah. Or here's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of negative posts about somebody.
I think with that, the respectfully use your common sense. Use your logic when you see rumors and negativity. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're going to formulate your own opinion, but I would implore you to base your opinion in good, balanced, factual information.
And sometimes it's hard to get the facts
It,
because you're not privy to that.
right, you're not privy to both sides of the story because there are two sides to every story. And when you lash out and post about someone or a company or an event that took place behind closed doors, you're really inviting the even more negativity upon our community because most people are going to look for the bad first
Yes.
before they look for the good.
Yeah.
And once they see the bad first, then a lot of times, sadly, their opinions are made up
Yeah. Yeah.
instantly,
Yeah. They stop looking. They stop delving in further.
and that's really detrimental to our community. So no matter who the rumor is about or what the issue is with a company or product or anything, be mindful, be respectful. Don't jump on the bandwagon, the cancel wagon, whatever it is. Be a positive light for our community because we all are representatives of the community. I know people may look to us and other people who are public on social media who have somewhat of a following and look to us to be examples and leaders. We appreciate the that admiration or whatever have you, but really at the end of the day, it's you who are the leader in the community. It's you who are representing the community, and all of us are depending on each other to be positive lights.
Ooh, that's really good.
But that's my take on the social media for not only for us but for outsiders.
Yeah, no, that's really good. You're so insightful.
I don't know about that. I just I,
Well,
I've
you're a
been
good commentator.
well, I've been at this for 10 years and I've seen
Yeah,
a lot. And I will admit I've had my shortcomings too, and I have fallen, and I've had to learn from my mistakes, and some of them early on and some of them
right,
late. Being
right.
public in the community, and I've had to grow. And we just because we're little doesn't mean we stop growing.
Hmm.
You know, um,
I stopped growing, I think, at 13. I've been 5'1" my whole life.
I feel that so much. But yes, in summary, do you have any closing remarks for um, how we, everything we talked about with
Hmm.
being uh, outside looking in,
Hmm.
but also from the inside looking out?
Well, I think that we need to be better to each other and start treating each other with more respect instead of, jumping on the bandwagon for like canceling and stuff. Because when outsiders look in, they're gonna see that.
Absolutely.
And we can't present a good light to the outsiders until we like fix our own problems, I think. But we're never going to fully agree on how things should be done, how things should be presented, and so forth. So I
Yeah,
guess you just have to accept that, okay, everyone's different. Let's just try and respect each other.
exactly. And no single one of us, no matter how big the platform, is going to be the moral authority on this. And we don't pretend that we are either.
No.
We're just giving what we feel is hopeful advice, not only for those who are being aware of ABDL now, made aware of ABDL
Hmm.
now, to hear a dialogue between two people who only want positivity for the community.
Hmm. Right. And we don't even really agree on the media thing. Like, I think, okay, all media is kind of good and can have a good outcome with certain people.
Mhm.
And
And
you're like, no, they shouldn't be talking to the media.
and we agree to disagree, and
Yeah.
it's not a deal breaker in our friendship. I don't think any less of her. She doesn't think any less of me.
Yeah.
Like, we're still friends. We're still pals. We're still cool.
Right.
So agree to disagree and moveon.com.org.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost an hour. I
It
hope
is.
people listen to this.
All of it. Yeah. No skipping ahead. But we hope you have enjoyed this episode. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think of the topic on hand, and feel free to
Yeah.
suggest any more topics you'd like us to cover. I think we're going to be at this quite a bit,
No.
in the
What?
coming months.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Not tonight.
not tonight, no, but in the coming months of creating content together and making a good podcast.
Cool.
So
Okay.
I enjoy talking to you.
Yeah,
We,
it's
we have we
fun.
have good combos. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's very thoughtful.
So, well, I will
Um,
let Diaper Perk plug all of her stuff right now.
oh, okay. I mean, literally just go to diaperperv.com and all my links are on there.
She has her own website. That is
Yeah.
so cool. Oh, hey. Well, I figure I'll ask you while I have you on the spot here, on the air, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So I'm about to work on making another padding power set.
Okay.
Can I make you into a card?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Diaper Perv is going to be a playable card in padding power. You heard it here first. I had the idea come to me in a dream.
No, okay, sure.
I'm kidding. It popped in my head because Diaper Perv was like one of the first people to buy padding power when it first came out.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's a whole other topic. Thank you all for watching. You'll have a great day or great night or whenever you're listening. I hope you've enjoyed the voices of Zacharu and Diaper Perv on the Stay True and Stay You podcast. Until then, good night, Boons.
Good night.